Boy, oh boy. ON1 2022 supposed to be good. Okay, let's get this out of the way. There are two things in life you will never have perfect. One, your noisy neighbor who decide to do the work while I decided to record on a Friday morning. You know, people do work from home these days, which I fail to make them understand. And the second thing in life, you're probably not going to have it perfectly, which is photography software, no matter how many versions comes out. Now, today in this video, I'm going to talk about the downside of ON1. As you can clearly see, first of all, you have the trees in front of the camera. Generally, I keep trees on my table, work table, is because it gives me the feeling of not being always inside my home, given what is going on around the world. So I do have a little bit of outdoor feeling from home. So I recommend you to try it out if you never did that before. It's kind of quite interesting. And second, what I was going to say, that I'm going to talk about the downside of this editing software, because think about it. I know that for fact that 90% of affiliate YouTubers going to say nice thing about this software. Of course, because more they say nice thing, you're probably going to buy this software using the affiliate link in their description below, just like I have in my description below. So please go down and, try it out for yourself. But, more you do that, it's more money for them and me. But that doesn't mean that I'm going to give away my integrity. So this video is nothing to do with software bashing. I mean, I really like this software. One of the first software that I have ever used in my life, which is amazing. And the thing is that I really want you to know the downside before you invest your money. And I really want the guys at ON1 No Noise AI, ON1 Photoro, to have to give them feedback in order to have some improvements. You know what I mean? So this is nothing. It is going to be a negative one, but it is nothing to do with me being, for example, being an Adobe fanboy or Topaz fanboy and trying to bash this software to, just like everyone else does these days. Trying to bring others down out of jealousy or something like that. This is the world that we're living in. But no, it's nothing to do with that. It's more about pinpointing the problems so that they can improve it. That's all. And also to counter the work happening upstairs, I'm going to change this video into 1990s television and add some soft music in the background. Hopefully that's not going to be as distracting as the crappy sound going on upstairs and the neighbor trying to cough. He got cold, nothing else. Now, before I go too far, waste your time, I'm just gonna jump into the issues that I have found while I was testing this software. Now, first thing is clearly, for example, I made some note clearly on top of me, which is the sky swap. So the ON1 Photoro promised to have one of the best sky replacement software, which is supposed to be as good or better than the Lumina. We're going to test it because I found problem with it. Let's try with some of them. So this is one of the photos. So I'm gonna go to the edit and then click sky. I'm just going to quickly double check if my recording is working. Otherwise, all the speech gonna be wasted. There you go, it's working. Now, first thing first, I'm just going to go through some of the preset. For example, you have category. So I'm gonna run through. So yeah, it is working. For example, in this photo, it doesn't look weird and it's working fluidly. The background looks natural. So far, the dramatic, this one a little bit way too weird because you can see the edges that I'm gonna click it there. At the edges, you have a little bit, it failed to completely get rid of all the white edges. Of course, you can, clearly you can fine tune it. I'm not saying that. I'm talking about the first immediate response. It's not 100% perfect, not even 90% perfect. I would put it in 80%, but not bad either. Obviously, I wouldn't use that sky for that. And for example, the night sky, given the foreground and the background, they're both dark. The edges, it failed to detect. Now, that's not the big issue. I don't care about this minor problem. Even the Luminar has the exact same problem. So, honestly, don't care. What I do care, which is, I'm gonna show you a bit more extreme sky replacement. For example, in this photo, you have the foreground and background almost similar. You have the blue sky and the blue ocean. So it doesn't have any punchy contrast. You know what I mean? So that's serious. So in that case, let's see what it does. So I'm gonna go to the Sky Swap AI and then run quickly some of the sky, like Aurora, for example. Now, one of the important change in ON1 photo raw, the sky replacement, it said clearly that it's going to create an ambience to match the sky so that it doesn't look different. It doesn't look like a cheap Photoshop. Now, obviously, you would never have an aurora on the freaking ocean in the middle of 12 o'clock in the afternoon, obviously. But my point is that you still have a distinct difference here. I mean, for the artistic point of view, it works, but it doesn't look too natural to me. Now, let's try something else. Let's try the cloud. Again, my neighbors. Oh, why this has happened to me? I moved in this apartment not about 2 weeks ago. My previous apartment was perfect. The reason why I came here, it's closer to my work and 5 minutes to 10 minutes by walk, and the rent is cheaper, and I've got a bigger balcony. But I failed to think of other issues like neighbors. Now I'm gonna have to live with it until I find another apartment. Probably I'm going to leave this apartment in 6 months. Anyway, moving on. Now, the background, the foreground and background again doesn't match because, in ocean it's quite normal to see a serious cloudy sky, right? We always, those who live in ocean, next to ocean, you know what I'm talking about. That doesn't seem to work here, for example. And another, let's see something more realistic. Let's say a night sky, Again, you may have the starry sky on a beach, It's quite normal. I lived in Australia, now I live in Reunion Island. I know exactly what I'm talking about. I've seen that before. But no, it doesn't work. What else? Is there anything else? Like storm. Storm on an ocean, and again, quite natural scenario. I don't see it. Now, again, still, good thing is that at the edge here, for example, I'm just going to try to zoom in. At the edges, it did quite a good job. Yeah, it needs a little bit of refining. Again, come on. I mean, I don't care. It's normal. But still have a quite distinct difference with the foreground and the background. But I found bigger issue, even worse problem. I'm going to show you right now because I did a test yesterday. It's getting worse, the sound. God damn it. Now, this photo here with the bird. So let's say I want the bird to stand out and replace the background completely. This is exactly what I want. Now, what if I try to replace the sky? What is going to give me? Let's try with the cloudy sky. Is it going to do something? No, it's not doing anything. Hello? There you go. The bird is gone. I mean, in fact, there is nothing. It's gone. And let's try another sky. Literally, the artificial intelligence failed to detect the background. This is a disaster. Now this is a huge problem. This is bad. That's it. I'm gonna replace it back and forth. It's a huge contrast there right now. The background is completely white. The foreground, the bird and the tree are completely different color, but the artificial intelligence failed to get it. Now, it's not all negative here. There are certain cases it does a phenomenal job. Let me show you one of the good example now. Like, don't be too disappointed. One of them is this one. Like what I tried to replace the sky of this one. Look at that. It's beautiful. Perfect foreground, perfect background. As a matter of fact, this is where the software actually did a beautiful job. Yeah, look at that. It's doing fantastic job. So the summary is, the first problem is the sky replacement. A sky replacement needs a lot of work. So I'm guessing that so message to the guy at the ON1, I showed you the problem. Maybe in future update you're going to fix it, I hope. So that's the first issue. The second huge problem, according to the ON1, it says, I made some note, new Photoshop plugin host. So essentially that you're supposed to be able to use all the Photoshop plugin directly in ON1 Photorow 2022. Now that's a good news. For instance, if you go to the layer and the filters, you're supposed to have your Photoshop plugin automatically right there. Now, here is another issue. I don't have any Photoshop plugin, let's say, but I have one Photoshop plugin, Topaz Denoise AI. And I cannot wait to finish this video. I'm just gonna have a chat with the neighbor right after. Anyway, about the Topaz Denoise AI. So yeah, okay, I get it. The ON1 and Topaz, they're competitors. They're not supposed to work together because it's like a Apple and Microsoft, for instance. But come on, I mean, that's not an excuse. I mean, when you said that you're going to allow all the Photoshop plugin work in your software, you do that. Because even the Apple software works in Microsoft Windows, and the Windows software work in Apple. Let me give you another example. Apple has their own video editing software, which is Final Cut Pro. But they also allow you to use the DaVinci Resolve. They also allow you to use Adobe Premiere Pro. So, I mean, unless there is another technical issue that I'm not aware of, when you say that Photoshop plugin host, do that 100%. Don't say one thing and then wait, do 50% job or 180% job and then try to fix it later. I know that you need some money, but when you say something, you mention that it may or may not work. Just like you did with the ON1 No Noise AI, because every time I changed from RAW to JPEG or TIFF, you did say that like the TIFF and JPEG may or may not give you the 100% result, and you are honest about it, and I appreciate it. Do the same here. Don't just, say that and then later you're gonna fix the problem. You know what I'm talk about. So I failed to bring in the Topaz Denoise AI inside ON1 Photorow 2022, and that's a Photoshop plugin, so don't give me any other bull banana. So two huge issue so far, and those are already quite big, to be honest with you. Let's not be nice about that. And anything else? Integration of ON1 No Noise AI. I'm coming up with, listen, again, I'm going to finish this video here, but before I do that, I want to remind you something, which is, this is not a ON1 Photorow bashing video. This is actually a critique to show you the problem so that the guys at the ON1 can fix it. Because I love this software. Thank you for giving me this software so that I can test it, and I did my test and here's the result. And stay tuned, subscribe to my channel. I hope that the next videos my neighbor going to stop doing work, and I'm going to do a complete course of about 40 minutes to explain you the editing department of the software. I mean, it can do many other things, but I'm just going to give you the overall view so that you can get started and you can figure out the other things on your own time. And I'm going to do a comparison between the ON1 no noise AI versus the classic noise reduction so that you can see which one works for you and which one is doing the better job in ON1 photo raw. So thank you so much for watching this video, and I wish you all the best. Look after yourself, very important. Make your home look pretty and beautiful, and I'm going to stop this video because I don't know any other way to